Yeah, nice to meet you. Yes, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, that's great. Yeah, we realize we don't need to do a resolution. We want to do your jurisdiction as long as that you got an ordinance. Your ordinance. So we're going to do the same thing, but now we are share that.
Fadi, how are you? Good to see you.
Good evening, everyone. It's just so weird to be on a microphone in this room. Usually I'm doing my town halls, and it's a small, intimate group, so I'm excited to see so many people here. Good evening. For those who don't know who I am, and I haven't personally met you, I am the City Commissioner for District 4, Aimee Kelley, and I just wanted to personally thank you for taking time to come out tonight. I also want to thank county staff for agreeing to come out tonight to talk about this potential extension. I also see Andrew from the TPA, so thank you for coming. He's here from Palm Beach County Transportation Agency, so thank you. The purpose of this meeting, I asked the county to come and discuss with the city residents, as well as I know there are some county residents here as well, to share information, potential impacts, and any timelines regarding the proposed minor road extension, and to allow some community feedback. It's important that we have transparency, collaboration, and community input on projects that directly affect the residents. We also have to remember that there are many residents who are new to our area and have no idea that this was even in the plans. I share the concerns of the residents who will be affected by the proposed extension. Minor Road has several traffic and pedestrian safety issues that I feel need to be addressed, and I look forward to hearing from the county on how we can work together to address these concerns. After the county finishes going over the proposed project, I will facilitate a Q&A session. Please remember during that Q&A to limit your questions to the specific topic. We'll have a limited 25 minutes. So I'm going to turn over the mic now to the county representatives to introduce themselves and to kind of go over where we are and how we got to where we are today. So thank you.
Good evening. Thank you, Commissioner, for inviting us out here. I'm David Ricks, the County Engineer, Director of Engineering Public Works Department, and we're here to talk about, provide input, get input on this project, and then we'll, after we go through in terms of project discussion, Fadi, part of my traffic team, will talk about the project itself, and then we'll turn it over for community comments. So, Fadi, could you talk about the project?
Yeah, good. Okay. Good evening, everyone. My name is Fadi Nassar. I'm the operation manager. I deal with operation and with safety for the county. For us, for the county, we have to look for mobility, we have to look for connectivity, and we have to find where we can make improvement that overall it's going to benefit the whole communities. For us, this is a segment that was missing from the roadway network. And when we can model this segment, we can estimate how much traffic going to use this and where they're coming from. Basically, we estimate between 6,000 and 9,000 cars going to be using this road. Now, this road is designed, it's a 2-lane or a 3-lane segment. It's going to have 15,000 car capacity, so it's way below the capacity of the road. However, those going to have significant relief for the parallel road as well as for Lawrence Road. So this traffic going to be coming from all of these segments. And basically, the only people who are going to be using that road, those who are going to have shorter travel time or a shorter distance. Otherwise, they will not use it. We estimate on average it's going to save about 2 miles for every driver. So we're talking about 6,000 person every day saving 2 miles. And if you figure out basically as traffic gets close to congestion, delays becomes excessive. They're not linear. When you're close to congestion and you exceed congestion, traffic can go from free-flowing to stop and go. So the intersection that's going to be relieving in addition to the roadway segment are those on Military and Gateway and Military and Hypolaxo. You're going to provide now more way for traffic to be distributed, better way to distribute the turning movement, which are really the one that kill the capacity of these intersections. And you're going to have overall much better mobility for the entire area. So again, you're saving time, you're saving basically travel distance, and in addition to that, there's a good correlation between safety and congestion. The more congestion you have, the more stop and go you have, the more crashes you're going to have. So here also it's another safety benefit. I understand there are concerns, but here again, I'm here to talk to you about why the county see this as a very important project that's probably going to help everyone, get shorter, quicker to where you're going. Even if you're not using minor road extension, if you use the parallel road, you can have improvement in traffic because the diversion is going to be from these parallel road that congested. You can have easier way at the intersection, and the whole system going to be much safer. I mean, this is kind of briefly showing all the benefits, but again, we're here to get your comments and, to see what other concerns you have.
Just let me add just a couple more points. This project is in our 5-year road program. It's been in the program since 2019. We're right now still in the design stage. We're at 65% stage. We're not ready to have a community meeting with that design yet until we get some more feedback, comments back from the designer. But our plan is to, once we get the approved 65% drawings, to have another community meeting to lay out in terms of how the road will be laid out. It's about $5.6 million that we got programmed. In addition to this project, this is talking about a 2-year time frame because you got to finish the design, and also we got some right-of-way needs for this project. We also have a project on Minor Road and Congress Avenue that's almost done. It's really to look at the intersection, upgrade the intersection. That's about $2.3 million. That project will be outbid probably by the wintertime of this fall for construction. I think that's it that I have. Anything? Go ahead.
Yeah. I forgot to mention there's going to also be a bike lane, and I think we're going to be adding a bike lane on Minor Road between Lawrence and Congress, so this is also be helpful recreational for people who like exercise.
Okay.
Okay, so we're going to open this up to Q&A. I know that was a really quick introduction. I know, and I guess I'll start kind of with my question because I think it's something that some of the residents would ask too. I know that at one point there was a conversation with regard to a roundabout or a traffic light or something at the intersection of High Ridge and Minor, and that is an intersection that we have experienced high congestion. We now have pedestrian crossings with the 2 schools, as well as Tri-Rail and Publix. My understanding is that plan was put on the back burner, and I just wanted to ask what the status was. It was part of a meeting that I had with county staff, is what the status is of really evaluating the traffic issues that we have at High Ridge and Minor. One of our concerns is by adding volume to Minor Road, that traffic will access Minor and High Ridge. So I just wanted to have start off the Q&A with my own personal question with regard to High Ridge and Minor.
Sure. I'm sorry. we'll take a look at the High Ridge and Minor. I don't think we have not formally done a formal analysis of that. So thank you for bringing that back to our attention. So we'll do a safety analysis in terms of like the traffic volumes. I just drove that actually before this meeting. That's an upward slope. So doing a roundabout, to look at the right-of-way issues in order to do a roundabout on that location, because you need right-of-way on the other side of that too. So we can take a look at that. But High Ridge is definitely a lot of things going according. We just finished a project on High Ridge and Gateway to add to the intersection, because that was pretty busy, because that's a connection to I-95. So.
Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to I'll walk around, and that way we can ask questions on the mic. And I will. Oh, you have a mic. Okay. So I'm going to leave this mic with county staff. I also have Andrew Mack here from the city. He's a deputy city manager, and he oversees this department as well. So I know this is a county conversation, but if there's anything citywide, he's here also to answer any questions that you have. So there is a mic. We have, we'll start in the back and we'll move forward because the mic is in the back, if you don't mind. Okay, perfect.
Good evening, Commissioner Kelley, members of the public, and the county staff that's here tonight. Welcome, everyone. And I want to begin by first saying thank you to Commissioner Kelley for organizing this community meeting. As you know, Commissioner Kelley is our neighbor. She lives, because a lot of you are here from Knollwood, a lot of you are here from Lawrence Oaks, Citrus Grove, up and down Lawrence and Minor Road. My name is Tom Remicchio, and I am currently the president of one of the larger homeowners associations there in Knollwood, right on Lawrence and Minor Road. We control and own the majority of that property, and the homeowners association has been working very closely with the city. Actually, last year I was instructed by our board to meet with the city, and I met with Commissioner Kelley and with the city manager to see how we can make improvements to our property so that the inevitability of this road ever coming through would never come through our property. This is our neighborhood, and this essentially you'd be driving cut-through traffic through our neighborhood, because the homeowners that are here already have a flow of traffic from where they come and go. And for them to make the excuse to put this half-mile road from Lawrence Road to Military is going to ease 6,000 to 9,000 trips off the rest of the infrastructure is just not something that we can rely on. When we look at the county projects, we see what happened at Military Trail and Gateway, 2.5 years up and go and back and forth. So we don't have a lot of confidence. But if you look at the Valencias, I was mentioning to you earlier, Sarah, about all the new homes that were built west of town. They have to do their shopping, their banking, they're all east. So those, by putting Minor Road through to Military Trail, you're just affording more opportunity of cut-through traffic through our neighborhood, the possibility of increase of crime, because currently we have a very safe district. District 4 is the safest district in western Boynton Beach, and it's the most valuable homes. And so we're very concerned about the property values, but more importantly, we're concerned about the quality of life. We want to have the opportunity to have peace and quiet. Currently, Minor Road, to be a major road, would be a real problem for us. I'll close by asking the county again to consider on the record, in conjunction with this city, that you possibly abandon the roadway and turn it over to the city and let the city continue the perpetual maintenance. We have sidewalks, we have good drainage and infrastructure there, new lighting, so it's in good shape. Allow the city to take that, take over control of that street with their approval, and allow us to. There's a huge right-of-way there on Minor Road that's very ugly. It can use landscaping. It could be a heart trail. There could be a green market on the weekends. There's a lot of opportunity as we eventually will see, hopefully, some type of an eco park at the end of Minor Road and High Ridge. And then when I was looking at the 5-year plan and I saw that you want a 4-lane High Ridge Road, that beautiful neighborhood street, and you're going to afford laying it. So I'm very concerned about the thinking and the planning. As you all know, I was vice chairman of the Metropolitan Planning Organization when I simultaneously served 3 terms as mayor of the city of Lake Worth. I then sat for 10 years on the Planning and Development Board. When I moved to Boynton, I immediately got on the Planning and Development Board to help make good decisions, and the city has done a great job in balancing growth and improvements to the infrastructure. So please work with the city of Boynton. They're a great partner for the county. We're the 3rd largest city in Palm Beach County, and we want to be your partner. These folks that are here tonight, they don't want to fight. They just don't want this road through our neighborhood, period. That's it.
Good evening. Just to let you know, this is not my comfort zone by any means. My name is Annette Nevitt, and I'm going to walk over here and show you where I live. As Mr. Remicio was stating, he is the homeowner property president for Knollwood Grove. My property is right here. I live on 4.97 acres, and I have been here for 24 years. And I do not want this road. It would take 1/3 of my property, 1.67 acres. It would intrude into a structure on my property, a large garage, workshop, storage building. And I don't know how you guys would handle that, because you have a building with its own septic system that houses equipment for 5 acres that I maintain. I've been there 24 years. So it's like I have a landscaping service in my own garage. Okay. How do you move a structure? Do you cut it in half? What are the present day setbacks for a new building? What are the costs for architects, engineers, permits, planning? Where do I store things while I have to go through the process of getting a new structure? Will you allow the current setback? Can I build in the same area as a remodel versus a rebuild? Are you going to pay me the cost to redo an entire structure? I have a motorhome. My father lives in it most of the time with me. It's within the 100-foot area that you would be encroaching into. From a personal standpoint, I have a lot of issues. 700 feet east to west, 300 north to south. You would be coming 100 feet into the property for 700 feet. So now I have a concern for security. Are you going to fence 700 feet with a 6-foot-high chain-link commercial-grade fence with double gates, which I can currently access because I have a permit that I've had for 24 years for a gate that was installed at the end of the road? We got that from the Lake Worth Drainage District 24 years ago. There's an opening because we have horses in our community, so people can ride their horses along the embankment. They've done that before I owned the land, and they've done that since. Our community people walk along this area. Kids walk to school off Lawrence Road and back. They ride their bikes. We don't need another bike lane. We have a bike lane, and it's safe. When we bought the property all those years ago, there were no gates. My husband and I cleaned the land. It was used as a dumping ground. Before the gates were put up, I had people driving the road, and I would find them on my property. Call the police, they go bye-bye. Hence, we put the gates up with permission, with permits. So if you choose to extend this road, one, I'm a hard no, and I'm not selling to you easy by any means. It's a no. And know this, I have been offered a substantial amount of money with a lot of zeros behind it. I have written, documented offers. I turn them down because I love where I live. I don't need the money. Money is not everything. I don't own anything. I don't owe anything on the property. It's paid off. I like what I paid for it. My property taxes are low. My costs for insurance are low. If I sold this and moved somewhere else, I'm going to pay more money. Do I want to do that? No. It's a lot of work to maintain it, but I love it, and I love my community. I'm here for them as well. Because guess what? I could take the money and say, bye-bye now, and I don't want to do that because I love the people that I live by. I spent all day yesterday because guess what? Since 2019, when you lovely people, and I mean that because y'all are trying to do your job, but I'm a little pissed off here right now, not one person from the city or county has called, emailed, text, knocked on my door, sent me a letter regarding this. I am literally like the last person to know, and I find that very disrespectful, because I am the only private property owner along this area. No one seems to be considering the impact to our community, and we're a lot of people. People have been here longer than me. I have a lot of my neighbors in this room. A lot couldn't make it because it was such short notice. But I told them, contact Greg Wise, our unincorporated commissioner, to voice your concerns. Pro or con, your choice, you're right. But I know most of these people, I would say 99.9%, do not want this road. Most people do not know about the pocket of Boynton Beach that this is. We have areas in our community where the lanes of road one way. Basically, you have to pull off to allow someone to pass. So you're talking about adding potentially 6,000 cars a day on this road. Right now we have enough to deal with Franklin Academy. I don't know if part of the design is to maybe alleviate some of the traffic from Franklin, but I can guarantee you this, it will not do that. Because right now they come in off Military Trail onto this little teeny part of Minor Road that is there. That was a 2-lane road years ago, but when the school was built, it was widened. They have to go north across the canal to turn into the school. This is their only in and out for the majority of the traffic. When you're up here, the only people that can access this entry is if they're going southbound. There is no northbound turn lane into the school. So they all come in here. Now, granted, we have a right turn lane here. They stack up to the back of the turn lane. When the school first started, they backed up all the way to White Feather. But that has stopped as of a few years ago. Initially, we had PBSO out there when the school was planned, and we were promised that there would always be PBSO Sheriff's Stair day and afternoon pick-up and drop-off to direct the traffic. That did not happen. They were there maybe 2 or 3 years, and then bye-bye now, gone. They have a wonderful on-site security person, but she has no authority outside the grounds of the school to direct traffic. So we deal with, on a daily basis, roughly 1,500 students here. I would say 95% of them come in. Now, granted, we have a lot of traffic in the morning and the evening pickup, but once school opens at 2 p.m., they flow really quickly. So if you put a road here, I guarantee you dead to rights, you are going to have people backing up on a 2 or 3 lane road. What kind of problems is that going to create for people who are just trying to drive through? It's going to be a nightmare. And then they have to go across this canal to get into school. Are you going to put a 4-way stop here? Are you going to put a traffic light? Because sadly, people are not courteous, a lot of them, when they drive. We see it on a daily basis. I have people stacking up in front of my house. I have people parking I've had them go through my driveway. I have them parking on my sprinklers. Thank goodness I go out there politely and say, please, can you not park on the grass? I have fixed, I don't know how many commercial grade sprinklers in my life. I'm very good at it, but I don't want to spend the money. So people have become very nice about at least staying on the road and not on the grass. Sometimes they park literally in front of my driveway. I cannot get out. So if you start now adding more people, yes, potentially they're going to stack up here, but now you're going to allow more people to go, oh my goodness, I've never been back here. Let me drive back here. They're going to impact everybody who lives in here. Sunset Cay, Reading Road, White Feather Estates, the end of Sunup Trail, which is dirt road. And then when you make the turn onto White Feather to go out to Military Trail, Station 40, which was built, we were not happy about it. And by the way, I am a firefighter paramedic for 25 years as of next month for the city of Margate down in Broward County. That's what I do. But we have, in that area, part of the road becomes a single lane. And guess what? You guys don't own it. You own part of it, but one of those parcels, they own the road across the street to the fence line of the property on the south side. That guy's not going to allow you to widen the road. When he bought the property a couple years ago, he decided, per one of my neighbors, when he was clearing that property, he put a whole big pile of stuff on the road thinking it was acceptable. Well, you can't. The way this land in a lot of Boynton was years ago, it was orange groves, it was cattle, so you didn't have like the traditional boundaries and roadways, but those things still in some small pockets, ours, still exist. So if you start allowing potentially 6,000 more cars a day to come a half mile, because guess what? You're going to still have to funnel north or south, the Gateway or Hypoluxo, to do your east or west, whatever you're doing. So going a half mile, really you are not alleviating 2 miles of whatever. These areas have been built out for years. Like I said, I've been here 24 years. I grew up in Fort Lauderdale. Moved up here because it was less congested. People in my neighborhood have been in there 30-plus years. Since, the 70s or whatever, they built their homes. Okay, I didn't build the home. So it's a hard no from me. On your 5-year plan, the present day one, you show that you want to allocate $1 million to buy what I have and what Mr. Remicchio's community owns. They have approximately 3 times the amount of land that I have, and I will give you dollar figures. Your $1 million isn't even going to touch mine. I was offered, and I have a written offer, $3 million. I said no to Pulte Homes. I've had another offer for between 3 and 4. I said no. It's not about the money. I love where I live. So if I get potentially, because I have a written offer, and if you take me to eminent domain, guess what? You cannot pay me any less than what I have a legitimate offer for. So guess what, Mr. Remicchio? I get $1 million or more, your community gets a windfall. And you guys get to pay for our attorneys because eminent domain attorneys are paid for by you. So your costs are going to go sky high. And as we know, on that 5-year plan, you show you allocate $2 million for the build of the road. One of my other neighbors works in real estate. I go down the rabbit hole on the computer. So do other people. Your apparently road has gone out to bid for about $3.8 million, which is about double, if this is accurate, of what you contemplate building this road is going to cost. And as we know, Gateway and Military has been sitting there unfinished. They started working on it finally about a week or 2 ago, but it's been sitting there unfinished for about 2 to 3 years while we have all been dealing with that nonsense. And I found out that apparently the reason the road stopped being built was because you guys at the county weren't paying your bill to the contractor for getting it done. So we don't have a lot of faith in you people. I certainly don't have a lot of faith in you people. A whole different subject, I'll briefly state, the county in our community has not dealt with another issue for probably about 8 years. 1,000 feet of drainage that were filled in by one of our neighbors that we brought to the attention of Steve Carrier years ago with all the documentation to prove it. The head of your building, Whitney Carroll, used to be my personal attorney. She is now the head of Palm Beach County Planning, Building, and Zoning. That rabbit hole is getting reopened too, because we are pissed off that our neighborhood, for legitimate issues, has not been taken care of. And you want to throw this in here? And the fact that nobody has had the courtesy to contact me, as you can tell, I'm pissed. And I think these people are pissed off too. So thank you very much. Not trying to be disrespectful, but that's my opinion on this whole thing.
Let me, to your comment, thank you for your comments. One, I apologize in terms of not having this conversation earlier in the process, and that's my fault as the director of the department. But in terms of the right-of-way issues, in terms of our property, we're still in the planning stage in terms of what the exact details of the right-of-way issues, and when we have the 65% drawings, we'll be able to have that detailed conversation. The issue you brought about Gateway and Military, that's a unique story. Let me give you the full story. Municipal Contractors was a contractor that had 5 projects, Gateway and Military, Hubblocks and Jog, and 3 other ones. A year into those 5 projects, they went belly up, bankrupt. And so we went to the surety and said, hey, you need to take responsibility to take care of that. Plus, they didn't pay their subs, and that's the surety's responsibility. And it took them about 9 months to pay the subs. And then we told the surety, okay, now you need to get started. And then the surety said, well, we need to do some other things. I said, no, that's not enough. We will take this over. And so the county, per the leadership of Commissioner Weiss, we have taken over both of those projects using our existing annual contractors. We have a roadway annual contractor and a signal contractor, Relco. And that's why you're seeing the projects on Hyperlux and Jog. Hyperlux and Jog, the 2 signals are operating as we speak. It's been asphalted. The gateway and military, the signal poles have been delivered. They're in Hyperlux and Jog because of storage. They're doing the corners in terms of the sidewalk and the asphalt paving. And we're looking to schedule FPNL when we install the signals at the gateway and military. So that is a key issue. Now, the issue about drainage, I'll take your information afterwards. I gave in terms of where we can look at the drainage issue. That was news to me. So, but thank you for your comments.
Hi, I'm going to walk over here to the map real quick with a net. So we live in Sunset Cay, a whole bunch of us here, which is right next door to Annette's property. So where are we, Annette? Where are we on here?
That's your house.
Oh, right here. Okay, down here. Okay, so we're here. So I think one of the hugest concerns for us is already this little road. I don't know if you've ever driven on it, but it's a little tiny road for 1 car, 1.5 maybe. You have to get over. There's no sidewalks, whatever. We've got kids walking to school. We got people walking their dogs. We got walkers, bikers, whatever, horses, you name it. When at school time, when this little light gets backed up with a few cars, now everybody once they have no patience, so now they zoom down our little sun-up trail, which they go around the little, we call it the pork chop. It was like a little triangle thing they're not supposed to go around, but they do. When the sheriff cease to be around, then everybody can drive wherever they want. So we've got people driving down this road like 50, 60, 70 miles an hour to get to White Feather, to get up to the light at Military to go that way. So I don't know that you're talking about, oh, it's going to save time, it's going to save a mile or two, and it's not going to take as long to turn. I have no trouble when I go up to Hypaluxo to turn on from Military to Hypaluxo, and I have no trouble, well, I won't have any trouble when the second turn lane is opened at Gateway and Military for the past couple of years. So there's no trouble accessing either of those things. So all that this is really going to do is bring a lot of unnecessary traffic, and when they can't get where they want to go at that light, all of a sudden they're like, oh, well, let me go down here. Oh, let me go here. Because all of this are little roads where people walk, kids ride to school, everything like that. And I don't see where it's saving anybody 2 miles. That part I didn't understand. You still, if you want to go to 95, you got to get to Hypaluxo or Gateway. And I don't know. I live here, and if I want to go to 95, I'm still going to go to Hypaluxo or Gateway. I'm not going to take Minor Road. Also, because when you get out to High Ridge, I mean, it's very difficult when there's a lot of traffic there. There's no light. Nothing. You just can sit there, and it backs up terribly. So I'm not sure why that would create anything great for travel, except a way for people to think, oh, I can get around travel and drive fast, because it's going to be a nice little straight line, no lights, no nothing. People are just going to speed. We're by a school. I just don't see. I don't see we're gaining anything. I got to be honest. I only see it's taking away from communities here, and there's no gain. Okay, so that was my comment. Did you?
Hi, my name is Tom. I am president of Sunset Cay. I've been living in Sunset Cay for 25 years now. I love my community. It's great. And I love the people around our community. everybody's happy and safe, and they all get together, do a lot of different things. What I wanted to reiterate, Annette also mentioned about Mr. Sabak, who kind of used to have a dwelling in there for when it rains, the rain will go into it, a swale. But he plugged that up, so all the water that it comes from the rain, it turns into our community, and we get more flooded faster than any other lake that it belongs to, any other community. And Reading Road also gets flooded. So what he did is he plugged everything up, and all the water just run on the east side of his property. We did have a problem, with that, but we can't do anything about it. I don't know why. I guess he knows a lot of people, and nobody does anything about him, or he's just in his own little bubble. But my other thing that I wanted to say to you is that the school was built there, fine, whatever, you guys decided to do that. But we also had a lot of issues of when the school was having big events, and, okay, granted, Halloween, whatever, people will come and park everywhere. You will see cars along even our property, our private property, that it goes to the road, that will park on top of the grass, that will break our sprinkler systems. I went to the school, I talked to the manager. She said, well, if you don't have a sign, no parking, then I can't do anything about it. Anyway, so I went out and bought no parking signs, and I put it on the poles. I don't know, I guess here in the U.S. you like a lot of signs to have all over because people love signs. I guess it's not common sense. So anyway, I had to confront a few people. You can't park over here. It's a private property. I don't want to have any conflict with anybody. But, the situation that you're saying you're going to alleviate a lot of problems with the traffic, but you can't really promise down the future, 5 years from now or 10 years, that's going to alleviate problems because people are moving to Florida. You're doing something minute here, for nothing. You should really focus on making Congress and military, making more wider. I don't know why you should harp on that area. I just don't know. I don't know because the school is there and you want to park your cars that way so they can come to school. I don't know what your plan is. I'm just saying that people are kind of mad because Annette is probably, I know I talked to Annette before, but I cannot believe how dysfunctional you guys are. You don't give anything, you just do whatever you want. I'm sorry, that's not going to work here. Okay?
Hi, my name is Mark Bouchard, and I live on White Feather, which is a county pocket. I have lived there for over 20 years. My wife lived there before I did. We have been told time in and time out that we would be taken care of. At one point in time, when it rained really hard, we had water up to our hips in our yard. And then we got Channel 12 involved, and the county sat there and pointed the finger at the water drainage district. The drainage district pointed the finger at the county. We didn't want the school to go in. That would be Franklin Academy, because we knew that was going to create a problem. We lived in a very quiet neighborhood. It's beautiful. You pull into our neighborhood, you would swear to God you're in the acreage. But you're not there. You're all the way on the coast. It's a beautiful area. It is being screwed up. We didn't want the fire department there. Y'all shoved, the county did, shoved it into an area it doesn't fit. The front of the fire department faces a drainage ditch, a very large drainage ditch. And they had to manipulate it all around just to shove it in when there's other properties across the street that they could have put it at. The traffic is getting insane. Matter of fact, we just had 2 people decide to drive through my yard yesterday. One was chasing the other vehicle. That's because we are getting too much attention. And I'm pretty sure there's nobody up there that has had people drive literally in your grass to get away from somebody or to do something. We were promised drainage. The county came in and chopped out some silver palms from down the street, and they called it a day. We don't have drainage. We didn't ask for a road to be paved. We just wanted drainage. And all the developments in Boynton have screwed up our drainage, and nobody wants to accept it. But we were promised. One of the county commissioners promised us that they would take care of drainage before the fire department went in. The fire department uses White Feather and Sunup. I've seen the trucks go by. The truck is too big to be on that road. It's only got about a half inch of blacktop. Nobody takes care of it. And yeah, we are watching all the other stuff. All of our properties are getting inundated by people. Oh, I didn't know this place was back here. I've had people stop me left and right. Oh, this is really cool. Yeah, please leave. Again, this is our neighborhood. We sit and we voice our opinion, and we are told it doesn't matter because we're going to do whatever we want to do. And if the object of the game is to get all of these folks that have lived here forever to leave, y'all are doing a great job. Y'all actually are. I've worked in law enforcement for 37 years. I have seen more screwed up roads than you can shake a stick at. And whoever's in charge of it just screws it up. They get a wild idea, and let's do this, and let's do that. And they screw everything up. There's no flow here. That's why there's traffic backed up all over the place. We need help. We need representatives that's actually going to represent us. It's not fair. We pay our taxes religiously. And we pay a hell of a lot in taxes. And it's not fair. It's not fair to take us individually and ram things down our throat because you can. Because that's what government does, doesn't it? Because we, the people, don't have a say-so. And we deserve a say-so. We don't want that road. It's going to increase more traffic. We are at maximum. It's not a 2-lane road. We don't live on a 2-lane road. It's a 1.5. And then you get all the people that have no patience that want to try and make things happen. My piece of property is cut by White Feather. I own both sides of White Feather, including White Feather. And I have more people in my yard than I care to shake a stick at. It's not fair. And no, you're not going to get anybody sitting here saying it's a great idea. And yes, we have been notified each time at the last minute of one of these meetings about these things. Or we find out. So if nobody shows up, it's all good. And then we plow ahead. How many people can't be here because they work? Or they got kids? This room should be packed. But there's, as you guys are aware, there's not a lot of us that actually voice our opinion. And no, I'm not picking on any one of y'all. I truly am not. It's the system. And the system is flawed. We're not getting what we pay for. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Mitzi, and I live in Knollwood, and I'm Annette's backyard neighbor. Our two backyards face each other. Okay? I have 3 questions. 1, have you done a study on what our property values will be devalued by how much? No study, right? It's not a concern about how the property values will be devalued, right?
We have not done that yet because we're still in the initial design stage of the road
Well, this
itself.
is a significant concern, I think, about all of us. The other question is, what about the traffic that will come from the fire department on Minor, right here, and the police department, who will use this road as a cut-through at a very high speed and a lot of noise, which will impact all the houses along here. This is my house. I have a 10-foot easement. Right now, not that it bothers me, but right now, I can hear the school when the children are outside in the back playing, or they have gym or whatever. And I can clearly hear the teacher's voice because the teacher sounds older than the children. So when I sit in my backyard, I am entertained by the school children when they're outside. What will that do to impact the noise level of all these homes here? I'm asking, is there an answer? Is there an answer to alleviate the noise impact? Because it's going to be significant, especially with the police and the fire department coming down here. My last question is, how many of you are elected and how many are appointed?
None of us. I'm appointed. He's part of my staff.
And you're elected? Okay, and you're... Right.
I'm
and
appointed
you're
by the
appointed
county.
and they're hired.
Yeah.
Okay, and my other 2 questions, you have no answer?
Well, for a small road like that, we don't build stone walls. Stone walls are like on the interstates or on the turnpikes. For a road like that, we're not having stone walls. We might have some landscape buffers, but not stone walls.
So for what you have, based on Lawrence Road, east on Minor, those homes have a wall behind them, a small sidewalk, and then the road. There is no landscape buffer. So you have 10 feet behind your house. And then you have your chain link fence, and currently you have that 100-foot grassy area. So based on the way the road is built, it's going to be ramrod straight. You're going to legitimately have a sidewalk, and then the road, and then the grassy buffer between the road and the canal. So you could reach out legitimately pretty much and almost touch a car going by your house. So that's what you're going to have. There will be no landscape buffer. I beg to differ. I apologize. Because there isn't one east of Lawrence Road on Minor. There is a sidewalk and a road, grass, and a canal. And a wall between those homes and the sidewalk. That is it. All the way going down to Congress, where you have the Boynton Beach Fire Department. I believe it's Station 3. I don't really know because it's not my city that I work for. So you guys have a 4-foot chain link fence, a chain link fence. That's it. Right, but that's not a noise buffer. So 6,000 potential cars going by every day, that's a lot of noise. I hear the kids too. You hear the PA system of the teachers when they're announcing, hey, come pick up your child, dismissal, pickup, field days, whatever. I don't mind the kids either. I think it's kind of cool. I don't want the noise either.
Hi, my name is Mindy, and I've lived in my home in White Feather Estates next to Mark and Michelle for more than 20 years. And I have never seen so many fatalities at La Chalet and Military Trail. If you want to do something to help traffic, maybe you can help all the confused people who don't understand or expect that there is traffic coming from White Feather Trail, a lot of it. We have the school coming. We have the people who live there. We have the fire department. And people are accustomed to coming from La Chalet onto Military Trail. I don't have the statistics for you about how many dead people we have at that intersection. I can only tell you how many flowers, plastic flowers, I look at every day and hold. My husband just saw a biker killed. That's the last one. We're talking about people who are dying, and you want to put a road and destroy the way of living for all these people in this room? For what? No one can figure out. Tell us, for what? This is going to help traffic? You want to help traffic? Start figuring out where people are dying at intersections in your community and fix that. Start with that.
I got somebody back here. How many of you live in our area that you want to put this road? Can I come into your house or to your property and rearrange your neighborhood? Do any of you live in this area that you want to cause this uprisal?
No, we don't live in this area.
Okay.
I want to address a couple of points. We understand every new road has impact. We understand that. We understand people are going to be opposing to it, and we respect that. We did evaluate several times the safety of Le Chalet and military. We even implemented some restrictive turn. There's no permissive turn on the movement. We are evaluating everything. The point I want to stress is that this road will not be introducing new traffic. We'll be redistributing the existing traffic. Let me finish.
You want to save 2 miles for people to travel and destroy our neighborhood. That's exactly what you're planning to do. And you don't take into account the people in this room that live in our community. Correct. We don't want this. We don't want it. Somebody's got to listen. We're not falling on deaf ears over here.
And one other thing regarding Minor Road and Military Trail, because the road there becomes sort of like an S-curve when you're coming north or southbound right at that juncture, people speed there continuously. I already told you what I do for a living. I have been in my yard working because it's a lot of work. And I have heard over the last 24 years so many accidents that I personally, off-duty, have run over to try to help with. That is also a very, very accident-prone area. So if you add now potentially all these additional cars, you create the potential for even more severe accidents. I have seen so many over the years. So that is also problematic.
Can I have a minute to answer?
Yes, sir.
I'm operation manager, but safety is under me. And this is my basically when I have to trade off between operation and safety, I always go for safety. This is my primary concern, and we have done a lot about safety. We have improved a lot of location. We're working. We have a task force about every school, dealing with traffic, dealing with issues. I want to go back to my first point. And I understand you're not going to agree, but let me finish it. Again, I'm an engineer. I'm talking more about scientific stuff. We have model. When we run the model, we understand where traffic going to come from and what it's going to, how much we're going to have reduction in traffic. Yes, the road going to carry traffic, but this is traffic being mostly distributed. I'm not talking about your community. I'm talking about the overall area, not just your community. And by redistributing traffic, your intersection, the crashes you have at the intersections are because you're running capacity and people try to run the red light. Please let me finish. Run the red light, and when you close the capacity, if you add 5% of traffic, you end up with 30-40% more delays. It's not linear. The more you get close to capacity, the more the delay goes exponential. By providing new road, first of all, as I mentioned, you're going to reduce your average trip in your wider area, not only your community. Second, you're going to provide a road that's going to carry, 6,000 to 9,000 cars a day. So this is going to be helping the whole region. And you have to look at it this way. You don't only drive 5 minutes. You drive, you have to go, you have to be on Hypolaxo, you have to be on Gateway, you have to have you're going to see a benefit. I'm sorry, I'm talking as an engineer. you're going to see a benefit on all the intersections surrounding you. Okay.
Right. Right. Okay. Right. Okay. I know we're doing a lot of back and forth off the microphone. We're trying to record. We have people who want to have questions. We only have a few more minutes. So they're going to be here after the meeting to have one-on-one conversations with whoever wants to have that one-on-one conversation. But I have at least 3 people in the back of the room who have their hands up, who have questions. And I want to make sure everyone has time and that we are being respectful. And I understand this is sensitive, 100%. That's why I asked for this meeting. I personally asked the county to come here because it is important. So I understand that. But I want to make sure that we're having genuine conversations and that we're being respectful of each other. So there's a couple questions in the back of the room. So we'll take those questions, a few more questions, and then we will close out. But they will be here. I will be here. City staff is here to answer any questions that you may have. But we'll go to the questions in the back of the room. Thank you, guys.
Good evening. My name is Michelle. I think most of you know me. I've lived there for a couple of decades. Not as long as Patty and Emilio. They've been there since 1974. I would personally like to invite you to my home. Come see where I live. You have no idea what you're trying to destroy. You have no idea. You're suggesting you're going to add another 6,000 to 9,000 cars as a bypass that you've already stated at the beginning of our meeting. There are 2 parallel roads that are already utilized. If they're already utilized, we don't need an alternative unless you have plans to expand, which I'm supposing you do because according to the map, there's maybe 30 of us that own more than 40 acres. And I think several of us have been approached suggesting how many houses, townhouses, condos, and apartment buildings can be put on my little homestead. In my neighborhood, I'm the gatekeeper. As my husband said, we own the road. So I know all my neighbors know me. If somebody has a hardship, an issue, a problem, a medical problem, we know. We help each other out. It's an old-fashioned neighborhood. Can any of you tell me if you live in a private neighborhood or just a raise of hands, how many of you up there at the front live in a development? Just at the front there at the table. You 4. Development? You 2? No, you live in a neighborhood? Sir? Development? So somebody dictates to you what color your house can be, what kind of roof you have, how many sidewalks are in your neighborhood, etc., correct? Nobody tells me. I don't want to be told. We had somebody come through and nearly hit my son yesterday. The car chase. And it's not the first one, but it's only been since you guys have inundated us with things we didn't ask for. We didn't want the fire station, as several people have said. We didn't want the other school. There's 2 schools right there. You mean to tell me there's no danger? Those kids are not going to be inundated with traffic when you add this little cut through? That's ridiculous. And if you're interested in safety, please, sir, since you said you're in charge of safety, please do come to my home. I'm right there on the corner. You can see how traffic flows, how it shouldn't flow. My husband was talking about drainage because we were literally on a dirt road that we chose to keep as a dirt road. We have horses across the street. The drainage ditch that the fire department faces was supposed to be ours. So all these plans and promises that the county makes are made by individuals who have degrees and educations and occupations. I'm retired from the county, so I know how that goes. You have a job, you get your job, your project, your list of things you have to accomplish, and if you get a promotion, you go somewhere else, and that list is handed off to somebody else. And it may or may not get done. So when you guys decided to do this, whoever actually made this decision and put it down on paper, they never talked to us because it's not important. We're just part of a list. And boy, oh boy, couldn't they bring a whole lot more people in here. So all that 6, 9, 10,000 cars could live where we're trying to be. We didn't do anything to anybody. We didn't start anything. We aren't troublemakers. We maintain our own. But we're trying to be invaded for that. That's not fair and that's not right. So please, do come visit me. You can come visit my dogs, see the horses across the street. I have no intention of giving it up. Neither is anybody else in my neighborhood. You guys are trying to ruin it, and it's wrong. And most importantly, it's not necessary. It is absolutely not necessary. It is not going to help, which is what you say your job is, to make things smoother and flow better. It will not. I can prove it to you. I don't want to waste anybody else's time here tonight, but it's uncalled for. Thank you.
Excuse me. Yes, you do.
Sir, wait 1 second. We have somebody in the back of the room with the microphone, and then. But we're recording, so you would need to use the microphone.
The first thing I want to say is that I think we all need to really, really thank Commissioner Kelley for getting this word out about this. That's the bottom line. I don't have a question. I'm just going to kind of sum up what these people are feeling. The first thing is that as far as the county is concerned, I feel that only a fool goes looking for a rainstorm in the sunshine, and that's what you guys are doing. And the other thing, this is about a good an idea as playing Candle in the Wind at a King Charles birthday. Thank you.
Hello. I'm going to come over here a sec. Sorry, I had no idea what I was really getting into when I came here tonight. Annette made a very powerful and a very good argument, not just for my own personal property, and thank you for your time. Let's see, where the heck are we? Minor. Okay, I'm not on here. I'm down at the Meadows, so I'm at Minor and Congress, which is a death trap. I call it Congress Crash Corridor. We've just addressed that. Okay. So my commute was basically for over 2 years until just a couple of months ago to Le Chalet and jog. I use Minor every day and love it. Hear me out. And I've always, even before Google Maps, timed my drives. So I would come along, down Minor,
Big yellow.
Lawrence.
Right there.
And Minor, make my left at Minor and a right onto Gateway. And do the right turns and then take Hyperluxo home to keep the right turns. It took me an average of 12 minutes a day, and there was no traffic, and this is at 9 o'clock in the morning and 5 o'clock in the evening. Sometimes I could get there in 9 minutes. Honestly, just going straight Congress to Gateway didn't really take any longer. Maybe it took a minute longer. I could get there in 12 minutes with kids going to school on their bikes at Gateway and everything. Never a problem in over 2 years that I did that commute. There was absolutely zero need to put that extension in. Zero. You're actually quicker sticking to Gateway. It's completely unnecessary. I would have benefited from it more than anything if it was a benefit, but there's no need. It took 12 minutes maximum, sometimes 9 minutes. And sometimes I would take Le Chalet to military, coming back home, and that's a death trap, like she was saying. Fix that. People don't know there's traffic coming out that way.
Thank you.
I don't need that.
Sir, can you use the microphone because we're recording? That's the only reason I need you to use the microphone. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Emilio Garcia, and I live on White Feather Trail. My wife, Patricia, and me have been married 59 years, and we have been living there since 1974. I think we are the old farts or whatever. Okay. I'm not going to stand here to be whatever. Everyone has spoken their part. Our neighbors right here, neighbors, Mindy. But I want to say one more thing. And I have to kind of say this. This lady, I think, is very special. I saw her yesterday in the yard, 90 degrees. She keeps her place impeccable. And I think she recently had a major setback in her life. I think. I've known the people, the owners, back from the 70s, before she bought it 2 or 3 times. Okay, so now, everything's been said about the traffic and this and that and this. But I want to ask both these gentlemen.
Can you use the microphone?
Oh, I'd like to ask both of these gentlemen a question. Or the 3 gentlemen. When is the last time that you physically walked that mile or whatever where they're going to put this extension? Please, honest answer. Have you ever walked it?
No, I haven't.
Right. Have you ever walked it?
I've driven by it, but I haven't walked it.
No, it ain't right. It ain't good enough. Have you walked the goddamn place? Excuse me. Let me tell you why. I've been here since 1974. When you walk up that little strip, it's like going to another planet. There's no traffic. You've got turtles, birds, egrets, squirrels, all these animals in there. Now you're going to what? Cover that whole damn canal up? Once again, progressive. What we're seeing all over the world, with people having to move out west because we're doing this, we're doing that. So you ought to take a walk up there at one stunts, okay? Now, one more point. I don't want to be redundant. Safety. They built Franklin Junior High School there or whatever. Okay. Yeah. We've been on that White Feather Trail, and you got people parking. You go by there in the afternoon when school's out, cars are lined up. Military trail. Okay. Now, someone mentioned that there used to be sheriff there for the protection of all the students and everything. Now there's maybe a security guard. Now, there's only one way into that school, and that's off Military Trail right there. You build this proposed street on Minor, and any bad person or terrorist or whatever you want to call them has another escape route. Now there's only one way out, straight out the front road there. So I hope that everybody stands together. And once again, I've known you for many, many years. We've talked and talked and talked, and my heart goes out to you. And I hope that this is turned down, and we will do every damn thing in our power to stop this. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. First, I want to just close by thanking Commissioner Kelley, the City of Boynton, and excuse me?
There's one more question up front.
Okay, one more question.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Donna Nermi, and I'm probably a little bit in the minority here because I live, let's see, it's probably not on there. I live off of Sandalwood.
Oh,
so in the Borgata subdivision, and I can tell you that we probably have at least, I don't know, maybe 75 homes there, and everybody probably has 2 or 3 cars. It's probably off the map here, yeah. And then we have the Sandalwood condos, which go completely from Congress all the way to Minor Road. There's probably, I don't know how many units in there, maybe 500. Everybody's probably got 2 cars. So there's 1,000 cars. And then we have the San Savino community, Also, so we all feed into Minor Road. Some of them, if they're making a right turn, would go to Congress, so they might avoid that. But I can tell you in the morning, it is already impossible to make a right turn coming out of Sandalwood to go to towards Congress. I think 6,000 more cars a day or 9,000 cars more a day would be pretty impossible unless they can put a light or something here to help people get in and out of Sandalwood. And the one benefit, if I could say, that I think this project may have is that there is a fire department there. And to be honest with you, it would be easier for them to probably go straight here if there was a fire rather than have to go zigzagging. But they seem to be doing a good job of doing that now, so I'm not sure that having a road here would be, an extension would be more beneficial. And last but not least, the traffic here, people do way more than 45 miles an hour. Occasionally, I think the city has a radar thing there so we can all tell how fast we're going. And on Saturday nights, that is a race car alley. I will promise you, every Friday and Saturday night, they will get a call from Donna and Aimee about the racing of motorcycles and cars, because now they will have even more stretch of road to do that. And they'll be doing it from Lawrence to Military, and they'll be doing it all the way from Congress to Lawrence. So that's my 2 cents. Thank you, everybody, and thank you so much for having this meeting for us.
So thank you. Once again, folks, I just wanted to thank the city and recognize the city of Boynton Beach, because you have to remember, if it wasn't for Commissioner Kelley and the city of notifying us, I'm really shocked that the county would propose a road without even contacting the folks that they have to acquire. We're private. This is privately owned. We own the largest stretch here. We're all private individual property owners too. We just make up a homeowners association, and I represent them. But we're 510 people, 148 homes, 100% no for any amount of money. But it's 30 to 50 million in the market based on Horton's recent recommendations on what the market would be if it was to be marketable. But we're not interested in that. We're not interested in money. We're interested in peace and quiet and quality of life is what we're interested in. And I'll close with this. I want to thank one last person, the county, Commissioner Greg Weiss. I spoke with him a week ago, and the staff, Jana and Niles. They're both wonderful people. They're very supportive. They represent us like Commissioner Kelley does in the city, and we need to work closely with them and keep in communication on how we could either get the property transferred to the city of Boynton, or the project becomes null and void once and for all. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. I just want to thank you for coming out. I think that since I was elected, community involvement is big for me, and having these community meetings. I have my own town halls with my district on a regular basis. I actually, hot off the press, my next one is scheduled for August 26th at 6 p.m. in this room. And so it's really important to me to be out there and be present. And I've met with the county a couple of times on this, and I went to them and said, we need to talk to the community about this. They need to know what's going on, and you need to hear the feedback. So it is super important. It's important for us as a city. Andrew is here from the city to hear this community feedback. He participates in all of my town halls, and it is something that we've really pushed forward, is more community involvement and being open and willing to have these conversations. And we know that sometimes they're really tough. But they're important. So, thank you to Nils from Greg Weiss's office for coming tonight, and also Andrew from the TPA. Andrew is not directly involved in this project or county roads, but the TPA, deals with a lot of pedestrian safety and connectivity, and so I wanted him to be part of this conversation. I think it's important. As we look at not necessarily, I will continue to advocate for my residents and what they want, but moving forward with Minor Road and looking at what improvements can be made east of Lawrence Road to make that connectivity. There's a lot of things that were on our list of discussion points with the county recently, and so to work with them, and I just thank them for coming tonight. I know it was a tough conversation, but I think it's important that we have these and that we continue the discussion on how we can continue to improve our city roadways. Most of our roads in the city are county or state, and so it is always very important that we have these conversations and keep the dialogue open. So I just wanted to thank you, and I stand committed to advocating for my residents, and I thank you for coming. What happens? Well, David, do you want to really quick before we? I want to close in just a minute, and then they'll be around to have conversations. But I know you mentioned that the plans are partially done. Is there? I know that there was. It's in part of the 5-year plan, but if you could just talk very briefly about what you expect the timeline to be, that would be great.
We are in the design stage right now. We've got a rough 65% designs, and our staff are looking at it to get back to the designer to give us a final set. And then when that 65% is done, then we'll have another session. It was brought up about potentially maybe, transferring some roads, whatever. That's going to be a conversation between the county and the city if that's truly a possibility. But I've heard you loud and clear in terms of the concerns, and I apologize again for not having this conversation earlier in the process. So that's my fault, and I will make sure that future projects, anything significant, we have those conversations with the community earlier. So thank you for setting up this meeting and having this conversation.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, and have a great evening. And like I said, I'm around. County staff will be here as long as they can, and city staff is here. And just thank you also to the city staff that is in the room who helped set this up. Just thank you. Thank you.